Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 533. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Sup, people? How's it go?
Carlos Romero.
Yo.
Adam Vale.
How you doing?
Richard Bailey Jr.
What's up, everybody?
And Brian Manjoma.
What up?
All right, guys, you already know. Back with another one. Big show for you today, bro. This was a week in gaming. You know, it's funny because, we had a nuclear bomb dropped on fucking Monday. And I was like, hold on, something else may happen. Then a thermonuclear bomb dropped on Tuesday. Shit. So we had two big ones and a lot of other interesting stories. So, you already see the title. You already know what it is. We got to talk about that GTA 6 trailer, bro. Trailer 2, very interesting because, obviously last week, we learned that the game, surprise, is being delayed a full year, bro. May 26, 2026. But I guess to tide us over, they finally dropped the second trailer. The second trailer that they were like, oh, we don't need to worry about that right now. So yeah, this one longer trailer than the first one.
Very watch it right now.
Huh? Yeah, watch it right now.
Watch it now. Go, yeah, keep it on.
Yeah, very much really focused on the main protagonists, Jason and Lucia, Bonnie and Clyde. Basically, you get to see more of Leonida. I gotta say Leonida because I want to say the S at the end. No. Leonida, the state, their version of Florida. Obviously, you get to see more beyond Vice City. You see some of the characters, and a lot of little details that I'm going to get into. But I'll say this because obviously, there's still some trepidation. Don't get me wrong, because it is the modern gaming industry, so they can still pull some bullshit. But what I saw in this trailer made me a little less hesitant about this game. I'm like, okay, there's that edge is still. It seems like it's still there. If we don't lose that, we're good. And the amount of detail, fucking insane. Like I wrote this article about that the other day. It's like,
oh, I see the streets.
Yeah,
the streets, this shit's crazy.
See, Adam was already like, oh fuck, like bro, you could see the fucking like bubbles inside of beer like bottles like sizzling and shit. You see the fucking sweat dripping off bodies. Like when people are moving around, you see their muscles contorting and everything. Like right, like I'm watching this trailer. I'm like, okay, this is why this shit was delayed for so long. Look at this fucking detail. Obviously we didn't get to see any gameplay. That's disappointing. But this is still using the Rage engine and all that. Hopefully the actual gameplay will look like that. But what I've seen from this, it looks and feels like GTA should, bro. So I'm pretty stoked about it. I'm looking forward to the next trailer. We're like, in Grand Theft Auto 6, the team went above and beyond. They always have that narrator guy in there. We're going to get shit like that. But shit is dope. So let's hear from the panel. Carlos, I'll start with you, man. What'd you think?
It looks great. Like Tony mentioned, I mean, it's kind of what we're expecting from GTA. But going back to Florida, that shit looks like Florida, the video game. Yeah, the detail is crazy. I wonder if one thing I noticed is the characters can get fat in this game too, right? Like GTA
I'm not
4?
sure, but that'd be crazy. You give the girl fatter ass if you want to imagine that.
Because I saw one clip where I couldn't tell if it was the main characters or not, but they looked bigger, and I'm like, oh. I was just thinking about GTA 4.
That'd be hilarious. San Andreas,
they had
you
that
mean?
San Andreas, yeah. The scene where they had a scene where I call it the Fast and Furious scene where in Brazil where they get the safe and they're carrying it out with a truck.
Yeah,
they had the same thing. This should look crazy.
Yeah,
man. I'm excited. It looks great. This is in engine or in
engine. Yeah, and it says running on PS5, not PS5 Pro, PS5. Very interesting.
So
is
I wonder,
a different period piece, or is this modern times?
Modern times. Modern times. Okay. Yeah. The numbered ones are always in modern times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I, I'm curious to see what the PS5 Pro enhancements are going to be for this game if they have any. Because this, like you mentioned, this is like just on PS5. This shit looks crazy.
Great. This shit looks next gen. You know,
I gave it a thumbs up. I figured they need it. They only have 5.3 million thumbs up. So.
yeah, that's all. You know, they're low balling. How many
cost.
views does it have, Adam? Can you tell us?
Holy shit!
Because last time I checked, it was like 435 million views.
Oh wait, no, I'm looking at the subs. It was like 12.1 million subs.
What?
All right, so this has holy crap. What is this?
Excuse me.
91 million.
What
Views?
website?
Are you
What
kidding?
website are you? What channel are you looking at it from?
What
YouTube.
am I looking? This is Rockstar. On
Oh
YouTube.
shit! Well, I guess it must be like accumulated. Because remember, IGN and those other places streamed it as well. You know?
Oh yeah, because
No, but theirs are not counted.
Oh, they're not.
Then it's
So where the
just-
hell does that 400 number come from?
Well, I don't
Probably
know.
X.
I mean,
Yeah, imagine that it could be X. X will give it to
I
you.
know. Yeah, it doesn't accumulate when you run a stream. Run something on your own channel. Like when we run the Game Awards is not getting our views. We're getting our views.
No, I mean, like, you know how IGN uploaded their own video with their watermarks and stuff? So I'm wondering if they just count that. You know what I'm saying? Like Manny, for example, like IGN got 60 million, Rockstar got 90 million. James the Wake, he goes, all that budget went to Lucia's, and he has a little peach emoji. Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like the women in this game look like women. The homegirl got a fat ass. I approve of this. You know, I very much approve of this. You even see ass sweat in this game. There's that one part in the fucking strip club and shit. You see the whores dancing around. See sweat dripping off. This game is gonna be nuts,
They're
man.
exotic dancers, Tony. Exotic.
Listen,
dancers.
I'm old school. We call them strippers. That's what we call them. You know.
Well, you just said she was a whore, so.
Well, yeah, well, there's that too. That's what we also used to call them. You know, I haven't watched. Logic One says I haven't watched the trailer. I never intend to. I want to be absolutely blown away when I boot this game up. Yeah, I respect that, man. I respect that.
That was my thought. That was my thought, but then I got all the peer pressure and I gave into it and I watched it. It was good. It looks good. It's like you said, it's really the detail. Oh man, when he's in the car and he's looking, you see the street.
Yeah, and the fucking rear view mirror, man.
Yeah, and the mirror. I was like, man, my PlayStation Xbox, they're gonna blow up. That's gonna kill the prop. That's gonna pull a Dead Rising, and I'm gonna get the red ring with all that.
Yeah, Adam, on the dashboard inside of like the touchscreen, there's smudges on the fucking screen and shit. Like this is okay. So yeah, give us your raw thoughts. You just saw the trailer. What are your thoughts?
It looks too good to be true. It looks. It's at least I'm telling you, I'm waiting for a little like exception at the bottom. It's like only on the PC. Like how do you pull this off on consoles? We definitely know people. I already know that some Nintendo fans. Oh, I can't wait. It's gonna be on Switch too. No, it
People
won't.
already talking about that.
Of course, yeah. But I'm telling you, this is. I'd be lucky if it could run solid, just like this on the current gen consoles.
Yeah,
this is crazy. That's why I don't know. We'll see. It looks too good. Looks too good.
Yeah, James the Wake asked us, "Do you think it'll run on Switch too?" All right, so I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna withhold names. I want to withhold names. But I was told. No, I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna say names, but I was told and can confirm that Rockstar people were at the Nintendo Switch New York event. Right? They were there. Rockstar guys were there. I am absolutely sure Rockstar and Nintendo wanted this game on that Switch too. The question is, can it run? I'm not 100% sure, but I will say this though: the Switch 2 does have a form of DLSS, so maybe that could help it. But I think if this game were to run on Switch 2, it's not going to be running natively. It's going to have to be streaming.
It's going to be
impossible. It has to be on the cloud. But yeah, the fact that Rockstar was there lets me know they're interested. And obviously, who wouldn't be? Like, what game developer doesn't want their shit on Switch? But it's just a matter of.
It also could have been for Red Dead. They could have been there just to promote maybe getting Red Dead on it, because Red Dead, right? Isn't Red Dead 1 on the Switch?
I believe so. Yeah.
Right, that came out on Switch, so maybe it's trying to do that for 2, or I don't know. Is GTA 5? I don't know if GTA 5.
No, I know that. It never came out, Carlos. Right? Motherfuckers. Fucking Nintendo fans, man.
And this was, I mean, we're at pretty much at the end, and yep, we've confirmed it.
Never came out. I said it. Y'all try to get me fired and shit. Look what happened. You know,
Look what
piece of shit
happened.
Nintendo fans.
Oh,
You know,
don't be surprised. Don't be surprised because this was my theory from a week ago or something like that. GTA 5 is still a possibility on the Switch too.
cool. Yeah, absolutely.
With the absence of whatever Rockstar wanted to release this later this year, now that the GTA 6 got moved,
Yeah,
this is the prime opportunity for GTA 5 to come out.
Yeah. But this is what I want to say about that, and not to derail the conversation too much. But it's, I mean, James asked us the question, so I'm answering it. If right, big if GTA 6 is on Switch 2, that means it could run on PS4, right? And that raises the question of, is this really an next-gen game? With the amount of detail we've seen in this trailer, no fucking way is this a last-gen game. No fucking way. Nope. So again, if this thing is coming to the Switch 2, it's going to have to be streaming. It's no way it's running locally, bro. No fucking way. Shout out to Chris who joined us. So Chris, you came in the middle of conversation of, we were asked, will GTA 6 be on Switch 2? And I said, and I can confirm this, that Rockstar executives were at that Nintendo event checking out the Switch 2. So I'm pretty sure they're interested, but whether the game could run locally, I don't know about that. So what are your thoughts? And
I don't know either.
Yeah, and obviously after that, tell us your thoughts on the trailer,
Well, I thought the trailer was impressive, like the the textures on the characters and all this stuff. Like the graphics look pretty good. If that was gameplay, I think the beginning part where the guy was on the ladder and he was climbing up and he's talking to the old guy next to the pickup, I think that was gameplay. I think that was an in-game cutscene. Some of it looks pretty good. I was impressed. I'm very impressed with how the ladies look in here.
Oh yeah, they look like women. They look like women.
Yeah, they do. So I have some hope, that it won't be garbage. So, the whether it can run on the Switch too, I'm gonna say I doubt it. Don't fire me. Yeah, but I doubt it. I agree with Carlos. Like that, GTA 5 will probably fit on the Switch too.
Yeah,
but this game is brand new, and I know it was like they said it was running on a base PS5. That's what they were running off of, and it's very good. It looks that good, but I don't think I don't care what anybody says. I don't think a Switch 2 is on par with the PS5. So
no.
I don't think it's even though Rockstar execs, and believe me, they will court anyone. Like the Take-Two will have meetings with Nintendo, the meetings with everyone, like, and they'll court ideas or whatever. But what's gonna end up making that decision is return on investment, right? What's the soft dollars does it take to port GTA 6 to the Switch 2, and how many units are out in the wild, and how many of those they're going to look at data? What are those people playing, and will they buy GTA 6? And if that number is too low, I don't know what the threshold is. I mean, look how well GTA 5 did. They might have a high threshold. If it's not near that threshold, they're not going to do it. So I'm going to say the signs point to no, right? The system hasn't launched yet, and it has a big proving ground. And Nintendo has pretty much stuck both feet in its mouth in terms of pricing. And then I'm sorry, the Doug Bowser channeled Dan Matrick with his like, well, if you're poor, you can just keep playing the Switch. Like, okay, great, thank you. All right. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah, crazy. Brian, thoughts on the GTA trailer if you saw it?
It does look really good. Again, I always like to see some gameplay, so I'm waiting for that. So yeah, the small details, really nice. I don't think there's anything else I can say that's not been said already, but I am optimistic. I just want to see some gameplay to confirm if this will be like a day one buy. Or not even day one buy, but a off work day when it comes out.
Yeah, don't pre-order. We're against that on Twitter.
Is that gameplay? Is that
gameplay? Yeah, we don't pre-order. Nobody pre-order nothing, man. And Rich, obviously, what did you think?
So I thought the trailer looked phenomenal. But I do want to say one thing. I don't know why they would show us this trailer and this game is still a year away. Because now, like Brian said, I'm wondering when are we going to get gameplay? You know damn well that gameplay footage probably ain't coming for a while.
Nope.
But no, the trailer looked amazing, and I didn't really have any doubts that it could be it could have certain problems with it. But again, we haven't seen too much. But what I've seen so far, I'm sold. So they got to definitely show us more, though.
Yeah, that trailer doesn't look rushed either.
No, it
It
doesn't.
wasn't like, oh, we got to put something. We're going to be delayed. So put something together real quick. That looked very well edited. It was planned. So who knows? Maybe most likely they've had another team. It's like, all right, you work on something while we're working on this game. And it's like, all right, what's going on? Game's delayed. Not going to be done. Well, we're done with our shit. So, all right, go show that.
Now, I do want to ask a quick question.
Uh-oh.
Just my opinion. I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything like this. Do you guys think that trailer was also released to keep the shareholders happy?
Yeah.
Because they did announce that delay last week. So I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure that those shareholders didn't like the delay happen, but now they probably like, okay, that's okay. It was cool with us.
But
now.
are they taking pre-orders anywhere? Because that's usually when they feel it's going to impact sales. But there's no pre-orders anywhere, right?
They're not going to do pre-orders this early. It's
You
too
see,
early.
that's what I'm saying. So then the shareholders wouldn't care because there's not that potential yet because there's no metrics to go off of. They're like, oh, no one's going to pre-order now because it's delayed. Well, it's not available anywhere anyway.
Well, that's why they dropped that trailer right after they delayed it. They dropped the trailer to get the internet hype going.
Yep.
Like Rich said, to keep the investors happy. Like, yeah, they don't have a pre-order metric, right? You don't have pre-sales or anything. And they're promising a game over 12 months out that I think Tony's right. It's going to be more like 18 months out, right? So they can't take pre-orders, right? Pre-sales. I'm pretty sure that's skirting the law there. If you push a game out, you take pre-orders for May 6th. And it comes out
like
November.
the game is on like the PlayStation Store, but obviously you can't pre-order it yet.
Yeah.
I think you can
it's
wish
just a
list it.
placeholder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can wish list it.
They'll put place orders on Amazon and all over the place, right? And that you could get some metrics if you add it to your Steam wish list or your Amazon or whatever. There's something, but what they did was they put that trailer out. They got the internet talking. They got everybody talking, the industry talking.
We're talking about it now.
Yeah, that's enough to get investors like, okay, there's like huge interest in this IP. So, right, that's about all you can do, right? Without. I mean, you could hype everybody. If they had a demo, that would be even better, but nobody's doing demos.
It's not happening.
Imagine if this game comes out free to play because of all the microtransactions. Because they were like, look what we did with GTA Online.
That's not
What if
happening.
We did that for Abby.
This shit's gonna be $100 base game and $500 for the baller edition. Watch.
It's like if you give a landowner who figured out that he has a territory with a whole bunch of gold in it. It's like, let's see if I give this all this money and to like put it into other businesses for other people. It's like, no, man, I'm cashing out.
You know,
this is a freaking gold mine.
Absolutely.
They're gonna make billions from this game, and it's not even a question.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
it is if it can run. If it can't run.
On that point, and I'm going to get to you because I want to get your perspective as a non-GTA crazy person. But this is what some analysts are saying, that they believe this game probably cost about $2 billion to develop, and they think this thing's probably going to make its money back in the first 3 days. I believe it.
Well, the other game is still printing money.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would believe it too. So,
$2 billion, bro. That's fucking insane. You know? But it'll probably make it back. I believe that. You know? So this is going to, print money for fucking years. You see this game, you're not going to get another Rockstar game till like the PS8 or something. You know?
We'll be ready to retire when the new one comes out.
You know?
Like, yo, I'm retiring.
Yeah, that's it. Throwdown won't even be around anymore.
That's it.
So just for quick context, if if they sell GTA 6 for $100, 20 million copies will do 2 billion. Obviously, they're not going to make
Yeah,
that in
they're not.
revenue because
Yeah.
they'll lose that. But that's just 20 million. We know they're going to do that.
Oh yeah. I mean, how many copies did fucking GTA 5 sell? Like 200 million,
See, and you know what? That probably helped out for the production of this. So it's not even worried about making the money back because they've already made all their money back from GTA 5, like triple fold.
Yeah,
So then all that
Triple's
extra,
probably lowballing it.
yeah, exactly. So then they take that money and they're like, all right, let's start pushing this into the production there. So it's like they're not digging in the bank. They're like, oh, we got to make this back. This is house money. They're good. They're good. They're gonna make all that money back.
God damn. I was actually right. GTA 5, as of November 2024, has sold 200 million copies. Fucking insane.
Wow.
Again, the biggest piece of selling entertainment ever. Entertainment.
Mario.
Not game, anything. Fuck Game of Thrones. Fuck everything. Fuck Star Wars. This shit right here, bro.
That's more copies. That's more copies than Mario, Zelda, freaking Uncharted, The Last of Us, and Concord put together. That's crazy.
Concord,
You sure about the Concord? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I sold a lot. I sold like at least 100 million,
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But Manny, what do you think of the trailer? I know you're not a big GTA guy, but what do you think of the trailer? Like, just on what you saw.
Well, I mean, it looked nice. It definitely feels like the next evolution of those titles. Like, that last one.
It's a good way of putting it.
Definitely like the last one. That one looked really good for its time, and each subsequent upgrade they've been doing it to it, like adding ray tracing and all that sort of stuff, it gets better and better. So it just feels like this is like the next step up. Like they've been working on their engine. They're trying to get everything, looking good. So yeah, it looks good. And if that's a PS5, just a regular PS5,
Crazy.
it's even cooler. So who knows what they got running on their this iteration of their engine. So yeah, I mean, I would wish that it would work into some other titles, but then again, I'm not like a big open worldy type of person. So, but
I'll tell you this.
It looks really good.
Tony, I'll tell you this much: the first PC handheld that can get GTA 6 running on it is gonna sell like hotcakes.
Yeah,
They're like, oh yeah, just so not over the cloud, but native running on it. People are gonna go nuts for it. So hopefully, Steam Deck 2. That's what
I'm glad you bring that up because somebody did ask me today, like, hey, you think we'll be able to run GTA 6 on Steam Deck? I fucking laughed in the office.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll blow that thing up. I fucking laughed my ass off, man. But yeah, no, the trailer looks dope, and I agree with you guys that we probably won't see another trailer probably till either the end of the year at minimum. We're gonna have to wait.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. What you just said, yeah, we laughed about it because the Steam Deck, but it can run it over the cloud. You can do it on Game Pass if they put it over that, or on your own console, and all that stuff. Or GeForce Now, I'm sure I'll have it. But for native, I don't think any of those will be right now on the market can handle that. At least from what we're seeing. We don't know the specs, but man, it looks like it's pushing. It's gonna push whatever hardware you have.
Yeah.
Also, another
Logic Wins, you're crazy. Will the DualSense start shaking when Lucia starts bagging her boyfriend?
I'll turn it on.
Hot coffee part 2.
Yo, that's haptic feedback. That's what we need.
That's crazy.
If the game looks as good as this trailer. Yeah, $100 is going to be the minimum.
Oh yeah, and dudes will happily pay that,
Mm-hmm.
Because it looks like quality. It looks like it's justifying the money.
I mean, that's what I've seen on Twitter. Was take my $100, motherfuckers are ready, bro. Motherfuckers are ready. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to bring up, and then move on because we got a lot of shit to talk about tonight. This is what I think is gonna happen when the game eventually releases. I think. It's not, because people are like, oh, it's going to be date on PC. Fuck no, because they want you double dipping, So expect the game to come out on PC after the fact, and that's going to look even crazier, And obviously it's going to look even better on PS7 and PS8. Listen, we already saw with GTA 5, right?
Yeah. Fuck. I got the Boost Edition upgraded, whatever bullshit name they gave it.
Yeah. All right, man. So yeah, GTA 6 fucking trailer, very impressive. But let's see some gameplay now. Let's see some gameplay now. You know. All right. The other bit again. This is now the story we're going to talk about next is the story I thought was going to be the featured one until this shit dropped. Adam, it's happening. The Roadie Run is coming to PS5, man.
Gotta have something.
You know? So yeah, Gears of
That's
War
insane.
Reloaded, remastered. It's coming to PS5, Xbox, and PC August, bro.
August.
Yeah, so yeah, this is
Wow.
I'm gonna read this from Game Spot here. A new remaster of the original Gears is on the way as Microsoft has announced Gears of War Reloaded for Xbox Series XS, PS5, and Steam. It's coming to Game Pass on day one for Ultimate subscribers. This is just the latest remaster for Microsoft following the successful debut of Oblivion. Everybody liked that. Gears of War Reloaded arrives on August 26th for $40. We're going to talk about game pricing later during the show. And it'll also be available to stream via Xbox Cloud Gaming, probably so you can play it on the S. The game supports cross-play and cross-progression on all platforms. Anyone who already owns the anyone who already owns the digital version of Gears of War Ultimate, like me, will get Reloaded for free. Let's fucking go. Reloaded features 4K resolution, 120 frames a second support, and multiplayer. And this is a quote from Microsoft. This is the definitive way to experience the game that started it all. And I'll read this other quote too. Why not? We're celebrating Gears of War. As we approach the 20th anniversary of Gears of War, 20th anniversary, it's fucking crazy. We're reflecting on what the franchise means. It's about the stories we're told, blah, 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 blah. Good stuff. Adam, what are your thoughts, man?
Crazy. I mean, you see, remember, for those who don't know, my Gears tattoo, love Gears. This is a big part of my life. One of my favorite games of all time, especially the franchise. I'm not surprised. They said it before when they were like, oh, we want to get all our games out there. We see that with the Forza series and all the stuff. Of course, eventually Halo will probably get there. But this was big. But what did surprise me is that this is not the Gears collection.
No, it's just the first one.
We already got an Ultimate Edition of the first one, you know. So that's why I'm like, why this one? Why not spit this version onto the PS5 and PC? Because those two did not come out. Well, that version did not come out for PS5, obviously, or PC. PC had the first Gears when it first launched, Gears 1, and had an additional level, and that level got included in the Ultimate Edition. But that was it. That was not on Steam or anything. So
you know what it is. They're looking to make money off the remakes. What's going to happen is it's not going to be Gears the Collection. It's going to be Gears Remastered piecemeal. It's going to be the first one, the second one, and then maybe the third one, you know, or probably the first one, you know, to probably coincide with E-Day, which is coming. Right?
No, I get that. It's just, why not just spit off the Ultimate Edition? Why then make it seem like this is something special when we already got one? I mean, we cracked that joke with The Last of Us, right? There's like 3-4 different versions of the definitive edition of The Last of Us. It's like, come on now. It's like you already did the upgraded version. So now this is the upgraded version. Yep. Come on.
This is the way of the way of the industry now.
Yeah, like I get it with the whole progression and cross progression. That's great. I love that feature, but whatever. What I do like is for people that have the Ultimate Edition, you're getting this version for free because it's pretty much the same one. So that's cool. But I was looking forward. Sorry, real quick. I was just looking forward for the collection. That's what I've been hyped on. That's what I wanted to play. And like Manny said, probably they're just gonna nickel and dime and do a slow roll.
Yeah, no, logically, it's not a collection. It's just the first game.
Yeah,
like Manny mentioned, they're piecemealing everything. Like the big thing is it's not it's a slight upgrade from what I had previously. It's Gears on PS5. That's the big selling point, and people are gonna whatever bullshit PS fanboys would said in the past 20 years. That's all gonna subside after the day it releases, where it's gonna sell 1 million guaranteed.
Well, that's what I want to see. I want to see if these people run out and buy it. If that's the thing. I mean, it's a great price.
They will.
$3.
I will say this out of all, you know how DC, Marvel fans say the only character they care about at DC is Batman.
Yeah.
This is the same thing. I think that Gears of War is like Batman to PlayStation fans. I think I think that game, out of all of the games that Microsoft could have released, would be the most attractive to PlayStation fans in general. To be honest, that was, I would say, as the guy who always left the door open for Microsoft to impress me enough to buy one of their consoles. Gears of War was the only thing that said, okay, I would buy. It was the only reason that made me consider buying a console, but officially there wasn't enough for me to invest, and that's the way it's always been.
Yeah.
So I'll pick it up. I'm down.
On my PlayStation?
I still want to.
let's
That
play some
I,
Gears of War.
I want to play that on my Steam Deck. That's it. I want to play some Gears. I play Gears on there.
Let's come on. Let's do it. We'll play some Gears. You play on your Steam Deck. I'll be on my PS5.
Oh yeah. Cross play, cross progression. Yeah.
You know?
Also, this means that now that now since if you put the way they do it now is if you put your Microsoft account into your PlayStation, you get your achievements on Xbox now.
Yeah.
So
and you don't. It's not forced. Did you see that? That was also mentioned. It's not force required that you sign into a Microsoft account.
It's not force required, but if you care about your Chivos,
if you care about the Chivos,
or if you have like both consoles, or you just mode one, now you get double the Chivos. So you get and it's still, you can use those points to buy things on a Microsoft store. So good stuff.
Yeah. So who's gonna be getting this on PS5? Besides Manny.
I just said it.
Yeah.
I'm getting it.
Manny.
Besides Manny, yeah.
I'll be getting it.
I'll be getting for the Steam Deck. I mean, because I already own it on the Xbox, so they're gonna give me that, regardless. But for Steam Deck PC, I don't have it because it was never there. So the X is gonna give it to me. It's gonna give it to me.
I haven't played Gears of War 1 since it came out.
What?
Since
I played it. Remember, I just replayed that last month.
Yeah, you did, not Carlos.
Oh, yeah. I don't have a tattoo of
He
the
needs to
game.
be playing. You need to. Well, get a tattoo. What are you waiting for? That's it. Let's do it. Oh man,
I love Gears. I played the heck out of Gears, especially online. We used to play online all the time.
Gears
Especially 2.
3.
2 is
2 is great. 2 is really, for a lot of people, that's what put them on. The people that passed on 1, they're like, I don't know. And 2, but 3 was a game changer because 3 introduced 4-player campaign co-op. That is the one. When that drops and they do cross-play and people, hopefully they advertise this, do a great commercial. Someone playing on a PlayStation, a PC, an Xbox, and people all over, and they're all playing with the headset and doing the 4-play. That's going to blow people's minds. That's what I'm hyped for. Hopefully that works out in that way. But
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Especially on a PlayStation, just that's gonna feel surreal. So gonna be interesting.
now you think about it. Yeah, I probably might get it on there just for add it to the collection, just because it's there. So I could see it there and hopefully rearrange things and put that right next to Uncharted and God of War.
Okay.
It was like, I mean, that's
same acronym, right? GOW
Yeah,
for both of them.
yeah.
So here's some of the things you could expect: 4K resolution, 60 frames a second in campaign, 120 FPS in multiplayer, HDR, Dolby Vision, and Dolby Atmos, spatial audio, VRR, 4K assets and remastered textures, enhanced post-processing visual effects, improved shadows and reflections, super resolution with improved anti-aliasing, and 0 loading screens during the campaign. Good stuff.
Cerny?
Yeah, right. Cerny, what's up, man? You're talking about fast loading. This talking about no loading.
This is a Microsoft game, man. What's up with you guys?
It is an old game, but
Yeah.
one thing, I don't know how Indiana Jones runs on the Xbox, but man, it runs really damn quick on the PlayStation.
On my
Yeah, it
PlayStation?
looks fine. Yeah.
Literally, it throws you, like, how the way the game works is like, it literally continues you right off the last point you were. So it just throws you on the menu when you're right in. So
Yeah, once you press continue, it just like zooms in, and now you're indie walking where you were before. So,
Yo, Tony, did they give a price?
Yeah, $40.
$40, man. 40.
Yo,
Medic. Yep.
Yeah.
So, because I was the only reason I ask is I didn't know the price, but I was like, man, if they start with some bullshit and charge $80, I might just get it on Game Pass. Fuck it. But
No. They're not for an old ass game like that. That'd be dumb. Especially if they're trying to lure people in, on a different platform, on multiple different platforms, but particularly the Sony, try to get those people in, because maybe they're not even sure. They're like, what if these people don't even want to buy it?
Yeah.
well, 40 is perfect.
That's
Yeah,
a good
this-
price.
this-
That's a good price. Fair
Yeah,
price.
that's a
for
good. Yeah, I
everything
think that's a
you're
good
getting.
price. That's a good price.
Mhm.
All right. Anybody else want to say anything about the Gears?
I just want my collection.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. All right. Good
Yeah,
stuff. What's up, Rich?
No, looking forward to it, and hopefully, because they announced this early, we are going to get an update on E-Day at the Xbox Game Showcase next month.
Good point.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
Good point. Yeah. By the way, Rich, great. I'm glad you bring this up because I saw some people complaining that they wanted this to be announced at the Xbox Showcase, right? I'm pretty sure you saw some of that too, right? And my thing is like, guys, if they're showing you this stuff now, they probably want to focus on new shit for the showcase, Because I do honestly believe if this game were to be shown at the showcase, it would have just stolen the air out of anything new because people are like, oh shit, Gears of War on PS5, So it's like, okay, let's just get this news out now so people can just focus on the new shit, So I agree. It's like we're gonna see some stuff at the showcase.
I have a really dumb question.
It's $40, by the way.
Is that besides the $40? Because I haven't been paying attention.
Yeah, obviously. I told you. I told you it was $40 like 10 minutes ago.
No. Oh, no, that wasn't the question. My question is, why E-Day?
Yeah.
That's because a good point. Rich mentions it. What do you guys think? Is it going to come out on PS5 anytime? I mean, I don't think it's going to come out day and date on D-Day.
Why not?
Why not? Exactly. Why not?
Son?
I mean, the thing is, it's like it's an interesting one now because now we're already past. We're getting a little bit further past all those things. Would they do that? Would they wait a year?
No.
Like
Nah.
they did with Indiana Jones now.
Indiana Jones was 6 months, I believe, not a year.
Yeah, sorry.
So,
would they wait that long for, or would they just say, "Nah, fuck it"? We're
Yeah.
third
I think it
party
depends
now,
on the
so cover up
sales.
everything."
Depends on sales. How
So
sales
if this
do.
shit sells, what's up, Rich?
Let me answer Carlos's question straight to the point. This is not a case by case situation, Carlos. This game is coming out day and date on PlayStation 5. Because why would they release? Yeah, because why would they release this remaster that's coming out to PlayStation 5 now? What, you're going to make a PlayStation 5 owner wait for E-Day? I think they did that on purpose because they want people who have a PlayStation 5 to get E-Day. So I think it's coming out day and date.
I agree. That's a great point. They want those PS5 players hooked,
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that, man. And, obviously before we end this segment, we got to ask the inevitable question, right? Because we got Forza, right, Rich? We got Gears. What's the last one?
But do people want that? If the Xbox
It's gonna
fans don't even
happen. It's
want
gonna
it.
happen.
They don't even want it. So that's a go ahead. They should have dropped that already then, because nobody wants it.
I cannot wait for that to happen because Twitter was free entertainment when this shit got announced. By the way, guys, you know these games are coming to PS5, yet you still throw a conniption. Yeah, our buddy Tim Dog lost it again. So very interesting, man. So yeah, Halo's next.
It's like it's over.
It's crazy.
It's over.
All right, man. Let's move on. The other thing, we're gonna talk about Death Stranding 2, big media blitz. They flew a bunch of people out to Japan, I believe. They got to play the game for 30 hours, fucking over 4 days or whatever. Like, apparently it's like 40% of the game, and a bunch of new shit came out. But I haven't seen any of it, so I'm going to turn to our Death Stranding correspondent, Mr. Emilio Lopez, to give us a rundown on anything new that was shown or revealed.
They showed just a little bit more. It's weird because they didn't show like gameplay, like they definitely showed new gameplay, but they didn't do it like in a trailer format. So there was little clips of different things that you can do in the game. So like they showed off the way the new traversal says works. They showed off some of the new things, some of the new weapons. One thing a lot of the reviewers, the guys who got to play it said is that the game gets right to it. So they instead of like the last one where it just sort of like it kind of meanders until you get to the thing, it starts getting right into the story as soon as you start it up. They said that there's been a bunch of control tweaks. A lot of people have been saying it's actually very much closer to the way Metal Gear Solid 5 controls now, as opposed to was before. So my guess it's some the last one sort of did control like Metal Gear 5, but now this one seems to be a little bit more that way. It takes place like maybe a few months after 6 months or a year past the.
It says 11
one.
months, so pretty much a year. Yeah.
Yeah, so a year since the previous one, which is kind of weird because it looks like Norman Reedus is getting older somehow.
Well, man, listen, carrying all that shit around, man, makes you
Put a strain on you.
And there's two places that it takes place now. It's going to be taking place in Mexico and Austria, so he's going to go
Australia.
Australia. So he's going to be going to these two places, and he's just going to be doing like he usually does, connecting everybody to the Cairo network and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, it looks nice. So, again, that's like, it seems like more of the same, but definitely seeing that Grand Theft Auto trailer kind of made Death Stranding look like like an old gen game, especially with the work they did on that. So it looks nice, but for me, not interested
for now.
Whoa.
Yep, not interested.
Yet you're gonna know more about this game than even the guys who get to play it.
I know. I'm gonna watch the things about it, and I'm gonna see what else is in it. They also showed off some new bosses and new BT types. They have one that looks like it's got these crazy glowing eyes, and it literally chases you. So they got all these new monsters, and there's a couple of new boss battles they actually showed off where you're fighting a giant head.
Nice.
There's another one where you're fighting like a robot that comes from it. So it looks like you're gonna be able to be doing a lot of the same things. I did say at the time though, it would be nice if they actually did give you something. If it it's only 11 months after the original games, like what happened to all your shit, yo? Man, where my Cairo boots? Where's my Cairo cargo cover? Where's all my good shit?
It got lost on the trip to Mexico. Yeah,
the Norman Reedus just canned that shit all back to Die Hard, man. He's like, nah, I'm good. I don't need this. So, is what it is. They do as video games do, where they essentially just remove everything that you had
and start you from scratch.
Yep. That's how it is. So I'm going to read some of these things. Go ahead.
Okay, only because before I forget, Carlos, did you ever get your luggage from Europe? Didn't your luggage get lost?
Yeah, I got it a couple of days afterwards. So yeah, got lucky.
There you go. Just when we're talking about lost luggage and stuff.
Yeah. These are some of the things you could expect. And Carlos, you can go next after this. Oh yeah, Manny said go to Mexico and Australia. Faster paced story and gameplay. Enhanced visuals coupled with a good soundtrack. Somebody dipped. More freedom and strategic opportunities. You could respond to spontaneous natural hazards. That's pretty cool. Individual play styles impact Sam stats. You can customize Sam's traits. There are new enemies, new weapons, and more quote unquote compelling combat. So Adam, you know how you said you weren't really watching like GTA trailers because you're already sold. I'm the same way with this game. I haven't watched anything because I'm like, dude, this is fucking Death Stranding. Their day zero, bro. The first game was one of the most compelling games I've ever played. That was my game of the year. Like that, because what I love about the first Death Stranding, it is pure, undiluted Kojima-ness. Like no restraints. Like I fucking love that. And this looks like it's going to be more of it. So I'm like, I don't need to see any more trailers. I'm already there.
I still haven't played it, and I own this game.
Yeah, it's not an Adam game. I'll tell you that.
It's not. There you go. There you
go.
See, there you go.
But so I'm on the opposite end of Manny. I am fucking ready for this game, bro. Yeah, go ahead, Rich.
And so I just want to make a comment. I have to say, what Tony said, day zero, I've never heard that. So yes, that's awesome to hear. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the game as well because I see nothing but high praise for it. So should be interesting.
Yeah. Were you gonna say Carlos before?
I'll see about the game. I didn't get to play. I didn't get to play the first one. We'll see about that. I didn't get to play the first one. Unfortunately, not because of
vacation.
It was one of those games. So
it runs on Steam Deck, so you can play it on there, and it's always on sale.
I bought it. Actually, I pre-ordered it when it came out, so I still got it. I don't know.
You do have it, so you can play it.
Yeah. So I got it for, I think it was PS4 or whenever it came out. So maybe I have the upgrade. I'm not sure how that works. So I might give the first game a shot since I've been playing. I think I played more video games in the past 3 or 4 weeks than I have in the last 3 or 4 months.
Nice.
So I'm that kick might still be in it and might get to play that or something before the 2 comes out. When does 2 come out?
August as well, I believe, or June. No, or is it June? I gotta double check. I think it actually might be June.
Man, this summer is
yes. It is June because Metal Gear comes out in August, and you already know I'm playing that too. It's a good summer, and Ghost of Yote in October. Excuse me.
It just shows how the times have changed. Because remember, summertime there were never games coming out because the kids were out playing, doing other
kids
things.
Kids don't go outside anymore, and kids don't play video games
anymore. There you go.
They watch video games. They don't play them. They'd rather watch fucking PewDiePie or some other dickhead.
Oh no, PewDiePie.
Yeah, June 24th. I got to update my streamers. I don't know who they watch. Mr. Beast.
Typical gamer.
I don't know.
Typical gamer.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
A couple million subs. This dude plays Fortnite.
Maximilian doesn't he stream games?
The who?
The Maximilian dude doesn't he stream games?
Yeah, but kids don't watch this shit. He curses too much.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, his fans are not kids. His fans are not kids. There's a bunch of old fighting game heads. Oh man! All right, Death Stranding, good stuff. Looking forward to that. Next up here, this one's related. We're tying 2 things together: Hideo Kojima and GTA 6. So he confirmed that. Because remember, we were like, hey, there's no games coming out in November. It's because obviously everybody expected GTA 6 to come out. And Kojima confirmed that games like Death Stranding purposely changed their release dates because of GTA. Very interesting. We all knew this was happening, but he confirmed it. And obviously he was talking to other people, and they said the same thing. So originally Death Stranding was supposed to release in November, but they pulled it away. They're like, GTA 5 is going to drop in this window. Let's stay the fuck away. So I'm pretty sure this is other developer. Again, you've never seen November with nothing. That's usually the month, Yeah. So pretty interesting stuff right there.
I think the only ones that didn't move out of the way are the sport games because they always drop within this window. So
yeah. It says Hideo Kojima says that when publishers decide the release date for games like Death Stranding 2, they try to avoid big sellers like Grand Theft Auto 6. And Kojima said, for example, some are saying GTA may or may not release in November as soon as it would be announced for November. All right, and they cut out the rest of the quote. So yeah, they were expecting this shit. So I'm not surprised by that. Here we go. Here's the rest of the quote. As soon as it would be announced for November, everybody would move out of the way. For instance, if a new Mission Impossible movie were to release in May, others wouldn't be able to compete, so that would move somewhere else. So Kojima wanted to quote September release date, but no exact date for that. But now we know it's actually June, Pretty interesting stuff. All right. Moving on. All right, we got to talk about some game sales. Expedition 33, Carlos's favorite game of the year, has now sold 2 million copies. Not 2 million players. 2 million copies, man. This is a team, from what I understand. Oh, by the way, I want to get this out of the way real quick because the team is supposedly like around 30 people. But people are like, oh, but they hired a bunch of other outside studios to touch a bigger development team. Everybody hires other people, man. Miss me with that
credits
bullshit.
at the end. Look at the credits at the end of any game. You just see thanks to all these other LLCs and all this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and from what I understand, the game cost anywhere between. Remember, we just said that GTA 6 reportedly cost $2 billion to develop. This between 5 and 10 million. This is Godzilla -1 levels of shit. It's just great. You know, and again, Manny, $50. You know, very nice.
Yeah, $50, a sweet price. And you know, like I've seen the game play. It's a little rough and on some.
You could tell
some
yeah,
places.
yeah.
But I would say their artistic vision is the strongest part of it. You know, like there's some goofy motion that happens, and you know some of their proportions look a little weird, and some motion cap like they'll have a close up where like they're putting their arm through each other. But I mean, it's like with the amount of work that they did to make that game look the way it did, you know, and then you know how strong the story is. I definitely think, you know, again, this guy is like definitely had his shit together putting this game together, right?
Yeah, this team, yeah.
I concur with Manny about the facial animations, the motion capture. Like I feel like that stuff is pretty expensive when it comes to video games.
Yeah.
So in this game, they didn't really have that. Some of the phases were. Oh, go ahead.
And they were also smart to get some well-known video gamey and main actors. Charlie Cox plays a character in it, so you know he plays that first main character. So yeah,
nice. Yeah, so he's yeah, I could definitely hear him on that.
Who's Charlie Cox?
Daredevil, bud.
Oh, okay, the current Daredevil, not Ben Affleck.
Yeah,
not Affleck. Ben Affleck. I would have said Affleck.
The dude that got killed and put in a box in Boardwalk Empire. Remember that? They shoved him into a crate, like all mangled.
Oh no.
No, I don't need to watch it. Yo, man, I love this game, man. This game is so good. Like it's because I'm a big fan of turn-based games. You know, Persona is one of my favorite games. 4 and 5 in particular. This game, man, you could tell like they're wearing that inspiration on their sleeve, and the boss fights are at another level. Like if anybody gets to play this, like those boss fights can get epic, and it's a challenging game too. Like it's really challenging. So if you're expecting a cakewalk, think again. There's some challenging stuff in there. And yeah, it's the stylized, the way that the turn-based UI looks. It's great. I mean, 30 people with some what do you call it? Offloading stuff on the side. For what do you say? 5 million, 15 million?
Well, you mean between 5 and 10 million.
That's crazy, man. That's fucking crazy. Good for them, man. That's what gaming's supposed to be. You know, I mentioned this almost every episode now. I'm getting so repetitive when I talk about, that video games don't have creatives that have visions for games and inspirations. It's more games as a committee. And this guy came out of Ubisoft because he was bored and he was super passionate about video games, and he decided to create something out of passion, out of love. It's a labor of love for him. That's why this works. And like Team Asobi does this too. Like if we get more of those, and these aren't AAA games by no means, but if we get at least 15 other folks with creative directors just like these guys, then gaming will be in so much of a better place.
That's a fact. Yeah.
I just hope that people take inspiration from this and it spreads on to more creative folks.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else want to say anything about Expedition 33 selling 2 million? And that's 2 million in what, a week or two? Like, that's crazy,
Yeah, and that's
dude.
many weeks.
Yeah, Chris, what are your thoughts?
Isn't
bro?
that also on Game Pass?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, which is
It is.
also
See?
which is
There you
also
go.
pretty big, you know. But yeah, Chris, what are your thoughts on this? And feel free to
great.
dunk on Ubisoft as well if you want.
Oh yeah, well
Uh-oh.
this is a mandate. Instead of saying some bullshit like, "Oh, we have 2 million players" or 2 million hours of whatever and all that bullshit. This is sales. This is hard numbers. That's what's important. And this is a message like I love this message that it sends through the industry. A lot of them won't get it. They won't care. But what it says is like we want these small experiences. People will reward a nice single player, story driven narrative experience, right? And it was made by a team of inexperienced guys with, like Carlos said, a former Ubisoft guy who was bored, probably got pushed aside during the other projects like Assassin's Creed, and he's like, he went and formed something, pulled a guy he heard off of SoundCloud to do the soundtrack, and then you make a banger.
Yeah.
Right. So that's fantastic. That's like a one of those like rags to riches type of things. I love that story. I hope there's more of this.
Yeah. By the way,
Flappy Bird.
yeah. Oh God, Flappy Bird.
Remember that dude?
I remember that. Yeah, with a dude.
This ain't no Flappy Bird.
Yeah.
He made all this money, never had to make another one again. That was it.
Yeah, Fergus. I don't have any data. Obviously, I'm pretty sure most of those sales came from PS5. By the way, Daniel, you didn't have to switch over from YouTube. I was seeing your comments. I just wasn't reading them. Well, I see everything, man. All right, so yeah, good stuff. Congratulations to them. All right, so this one kind of related. The next couple of stories are about game pricing. So Mr. Shuhei Yoshida, once again, going on different podcasts, talking stuff, and he said that he believed. Well, actually, he said that $80 games, in his opinion, were inevitable sooner or later. So this is what he says. I think it was going to happen sooner or later, maybe not from Nintendo, but it was going to happen eventually. We live in contrasting times where inflation is real and significant, but people expect games that are ever more ambitious and therefore more expensive to develop to cost the same. It's an impossible equation. Everything in video games today is more advanced and more technologically demanding than ever before, and therefore requires more resources. Each publisher or manufacturer sets the price of its games, of course, but in the end, the heart of the matter lies in production costs. That's why industry actors are so keen to diversify their revenues in order to continue producing AAA games that the public buys before anything else. Basically, the proliferation of remasters and remakes doesn't really stem from any kind of nostalgia or a desire to bring games up to date, but it's a kind of easy solution to bring in profits that ultimately help finance new games. The same goes for PC ports. I'm not particularly bothered by this because these ports, remakes, and remasters are mostly made by support studios like Nixxes Software, so the studio developing new games are relieved of the burden. So interesting stuff there. But, as we've seen with Expedition 33, not every game needs to have a crazy big budget in order to sell. So I understand where he's coming from, but I think, and obviously Expedition 33 could be the exception to the rule, but I think it should start pushing the industry in that way. Obviously, you're still going to get your big AAA games that cost $2 billion, literally. But why not have these type of games as well?
But every game doesn't need to be that.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, why? We need both. We need both.
That's the thing. That's the thing that the AAA industry totally forgot. That they don't need to be spending all this money on titles. They could do smaller titles to fill in the gaps. But, again, you go back to what Toyama said. He's like, Sony wanted me to do these these big budget games, but I excel in smaller budget games because I have more freedom doing them.
Yeah.
So
and people need to see it just like books. Books come in different prices. You know, you go to if
Exactly.
you went to a bookstore, there was all kinds of prices. You can't just make it like a movie theater experience. Like, oh, pay one price, this is it, no matter what movie. No, you can't do that for games. It's just not going to work.
I don't
I mean,
understand why we have standard pricing. Actually, I do know why. But yeah, basically games have standard pricing, but it really does come down to, again, I hate to say it's not only the industry going, hey, we could charge this and get away with it, but also fans going, oh, this thing is $40, $50, that's cheap, I'm not buying it. I was actually having a conversation with somebody today, and they were like, hey, the Mafia collection, which we're going to talk about, is $50. No, not Mafia the collection. The Mafia the
New
old world.
Mafia game.
Mafia,
Yeah.
they told me Mafia New World is $50. My brain is telling me don't trust this because it's cheap, but I know that's wrong. You know, to think that way. I'm like, yeah, because they programmed us that way. You know, they programmed us to think, oh, that game doesn't cost as much as everything else. It must be cheap. It must be bad. We need to get away from that. We need to stop that. You know.
Also, I don't know if I agree with part of his statement where he said that these experiences are harder to develop. If anything, they're easier. Like the libraries and any type of API support and programming languages available now to develop these things and engines, right?
Yeah.
You know, didn't exist back when we were playing NES and Super Nintendo. And even back when I was really young and you're playing Atari, these guys had to code in assembly or whatever, like
Machine language.
Yeah, you know, and
Yeah.
your programming, you get one shot to get that code on a board and make it work, right? There's no patches, there's no second chances. You screw up and the game is toast, right?
ET.
And now you have day one, you can put the whole game out all over again. It could be complete trash before you launch it, and then the next day it's fixed, you know. There's
Cyberpunk.
yeah,
every
there's
update I get for Call of Duty is just a fresh copy of that. It's a whole new build.
it's a whole new build. Look at No Man's Sky. Look at how it evolved, right? From the launch, like all the basically the lies to they actually implemented every feature that was promised day one, but it came like day 475, you know. This is we're in a different world, and so I don't agree with him. Like, and to Manny's point, it's like, yeah, you're making these huge experiences, and then you're staffing up. You're getting like, you know, teams of like 100, 200, 300 developers, and all these musicians, and all these sound guys, and all this stuff, and it's like you could make small experiences and break up the teams to be able to get content out at a regular pace instead of making everybody wait 7 to 8 years and gamble on a huge over bloated project that could bomb. How many of those have we seen?
Yeah.
Well, how's Firewalk Studios doing? You know?
Yeah, and again, we have examples like the Expedition 33 folks, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that part I don't agree with him on. He's kind of still
mean-
looking at it the old way, you know?
He's definitely looking at it like, you know, being somebody that was working on those games and over there. But yeah, I definitely think that they could have fostered a space where smaller games could be could be those things. The thing is, they got into I feel like this happens a lot. It's like the same thing that's happening with the movie industry, or has been happening to the movie industry for years, where they think the only way that they're going to get people in, you know, people's butts in seats is by spending a shitload of money and gambling big when they don't need to. For years, like smaller films, like horror films, have been doing great at the box office, even during the dark times. Why is that? Because there's something about that. There's something about those things that attract people to go see them. So I think, again, if you don't gamble big, you got a small title, you didn't spend a shitload of money on it, there you go. You know, you can throw things at the wall and see if they stick, and if they do, then you could start blowing shitloads of money on it, right?
Yeah, though you're 100% right. So yeah, and then
the original Terminator was made for pennies on a dollar.
that was pretty much a horror movie too. You know,
it was a low budget horror movie, but it did so well that it blew up James Cameron, and he was able to spend like crazy amounts of money on the second one.
Yeah. And the follow-up movie, which would be Aliens, like, oh shit, you had that movie,
Aliens.
money, you know.
When I in fact it was like 2 months ago, I put on Terminator 2, right? And I was watching with my son, and he's 8, and he's watching it. And he's like, "When was this made?" And I told him, and he's like, "This looks like a new movie."
Yeah,
Just because of all the special effect when the truck goes off
and that's all practical, you know.
Yeah, it's like
It's all practical,
you know what,
man.
Adam? I know you don't like dinosaurs, but did you show your son Jurassic Park, the first one?
we went to see that in theaters.
The original.
Yeah, the original.
Yeah.
We went to go see. They did it. They put it back in
Nice.
theaters. We got these crazy
Was
glasses.
he impressed by that? I mean, look how
He was scared.
There you go. There's your answer. He was impressed.
Yeah.
If he was scared,
He was scared.
You know?
He was scared.
yeah. So there you go. But anyway, back to the point. Yeah. So Shuhei, I see where he's coming from, but I don't agree with everything. And I already mentioned, so let's get into it. Yeah, Mafia: The Old World, $50. This is a good thing, and you know, and I'll kind of throw this in here too. EA already came out. EA, formerly one of the villains of the gaming industry, they've already come out and say we are not charging $80 games, bro. Like
Wait, what? What? I missed that. What EA said? No.
EA said they are not raising game prices.
Okay.
that's crazy to me.
Yeah, so this is where I kind of want to take this. I think perhaps $80, you know, Nintendo, you know, throwing out $80 games may actually end up being a good thing if companies are like, hold on, let's scale that shit back. Because if these motherfuckers are charging $80, we could perhaps make bank by lowering prices. I think that should have happened years
credit.
fucking ago.
Tony, you're giving him
No,
too much credit.
Hey, no, Adam. I'm saying this as a hypothetical. I'm not saying this is the reason. I'm not giving anybody credit. I'm saying if that's what's happening, raising the price to $80 could be a good thing. I'm not making any definitive statements. Just to be clear.
No, I agree with that, and I said that in the beginning. I said when we first talked about Nintendo saying that they're going to charge $80 and $90 for titles.
Yeah.
I said this would be a great opportunity for companies like Sony to capitalize on it and go, we're not doing that. We're going to offer our new titles or whatever at the original price point, or even $70, right, to undercut them and improve sales. So, good for EA. We're in some kind of clown world that the EA is the ones who are not, capitalizing on the push to increase prices. But Nintendo's the one who started it.
We talked about it with the.
Go ahead.
No, we just before remember that Game Industry Biz report. Once everything started going to 70, and then all these publishers were talking about that they're not seeing the sales. People being more picky with their money, more frugal with it. They're not just going out there and buying a bunch of games because like $70, $75 for tax and stuff. So once you start going to 80, I think with EA making this stance, it's more of like a wait and see. Let's see how it does with these 80s. Let those guinea pigs go out there and see if they could even sell, because we could barely sell. Even though FC is the only game in town when it comes to all the big name publishers, they still underperformed on their expectations, and they were like, well, because the price was kind of high, people are still holding back or waiting for when it goes on sale, and then that's when they pick it up. So 80, I think that's what it is. We're going to see a lot of publishers that'll just sit back and wait to see. If they see that everyone's running out there, which I doubt, but if they are running out there and paying that price, then yeah. I mean, the bigger test will be next year with that 100. If it is GTA 6 at 100, that's just jumping $20 up.
Yeah, but like I said,
going to be the new norm?
No, it's not. GTA is the only franchise to get away with that. I've said that many times, and I don't think that's going to change. I don't think even Call of Duty could charge $100 and people will be like, okay, because think about it like this, right? With Call of Duty, people are like, it's the same fucking game. Why am I paying more? But with GTA, you haven't had a GTA for 13 years. So people are like, okay, I'll spend $100. That's fine. You know, so not every franchise will get away with that. So I don't think that'll be the new norm. But yeah, I really hope that $80 is what potentially has broken the camel's back. And now we may see pricing that's a little bit more representative of what the game actually cost to develop. Again, not every game needs to cost fucking $70, right? If it didn't cost a lot to make. But also conversely, maybe some games should have a higher price, depending on how much went into it. It should be different.
EA did one thing many years back that no publisher besides them that I could think of, and maybe Rich and Carlos know this. So as we all know, NBA 2K, that's the dominant basketball franchise. It used to be NBA Live, which is by EA, and they fell off. 2K came in, ate their lunch, dominant. So EA took I think it was like a year, almost 2 years off from making an NBA Live game. When they came back, that game, $20. Brand new. It still had the NBA license, all that, $20. And it sold like hotcakes because they were like, we were coming back into it. We want to compete. We already know that the 2K series is a top dog. Yeah. So how do we get into that? And they took that hit and it sold. It sold well. So
there you go.
They're risk takers when it comes to certain things.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my hope that we're gonna see like various game prices. And hopefully the guys that won't charge as much will be the winners,
But I also think that the reasoning for doing this is also just because of the way, because there's so much talk about the prices of things going up. We're still experiencing inflation.
Yep.
All these, especially when you see like places like Microsoft are like pushing up their prices on a 6-year-old console, on a 5-year-old console, stuff like that. People are going to totally just not go in on it. I mean, the smartest way to do it is take the hit on your title, because to be honest, if you have a lower price title that's out there, people won't question, investing in it. That's the same thing I always say when it comes to, me working in the comic industry. Why are these things so much money? People shouldn't be questioning their purchase. They should just be like, all right, I'm doing it.
Yeah, there should be impulse. It shouldn't be like second guessing.
You can especially the way $50 is now. Like $50, $40, people will just hand that off right away. And I suspect that's the reason. Another reason why we're seeing the Expedition game selling as much as it is, because it's not a huge investment, and you look at how much time that game offers to you.
Yeah, no, you're right. So this is good, man. I'm surprised EA, the villain company, is being a good guy here. Oh man!
And then there's that thing that Chris posted about them not long ago.
What was it?
Wasn't it, Chris? Wasn't it a thing about AI and them firing a bunch of people?
Oh, EA's layoffs? Yeah, they did layoffs a couple weeks ago. 300 people, including Respawn. Respawn's done.
Maybe that's Chris. Maybe that's why.
Wait. They closed Respawn?
Oh no, they didn't close it, but they killed a lot of the team. Like they're skeletons.
The team that was working on the Titanfall 3.
Yeah. So they're just the Apex guys.
Yeah,
that's it. And
the Star Wars.
And then the CEO came out and he said AI is the future of the company.
And I'm AI, and then he just went max headroom.
Maybe that's why they're able to keep game prices low. They don't have as many employees anymore.
There you go.
Oh man. All right. Last couple of stories here. We got to talk about Palworld. So the Palworld developers blame Nintendo Pokemon lawsuit for disappointing game changes. So yeah, they're making a bunch of game changes, because of the lawsuit. Chris, I don't know how much you know about this, because if not, I could just read what this report says. Like,
you could do it. I read the patch notes. I mean, they basically took out the gliding with your pal, right? Basically, a character can ride the pal and fly, and I can't believe that Nintendo can patent that.
That's crazy. I'll read this real quick, and then I want Brian to jump in because I know he played Palworld. Palworld developer Pocket Pair had a readiness of Polygon, who will soon be a content farming website. Palworld developer Pocket Pair has admitted that it has had to make changes to its game in response to the patent infringement lawsuit brought against it by Nintendo and the Pokemon Company and indicated there are more of these changes coming. In a blog post titled "Regarding the Lawsuit Changes to Palworld and the Future" on Thursday, Pocket Pair confirmed that the removal of ball throwing mechanic for summoning pals in November 2024 was a result of the ongoing litigation. It went on to say that an upcoming patch will force the use of a glider item for gliding, which will no longer be possible with pals. Also, a compromise forced by the lawsuit. Despite starting its post by apologizing to fans for its inability to be "quote unquote" fully transparent during the litigation, Pocket Pair struck an unrepentant, "I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed" tone in the update. It made no attempt to address the changes as positives, admitted frankly to its disappointment over them, and asserted the quote invalidity of Nintendo and the Pokemon Company's patents. This is what they said. Currently, we remain involved in prolonged legal proceedings regarding alleged patent infringement. We continue to dispute these claims and assert the invalidity of the patents in question. However, we have had to make certain compromises in order to avoid disruption to development and distribution of Palworld. So basically, they got to change a bunch of shit because of this stupid lawsuit. You know, crazy. So yeah, Brian, what are your thoughts on this, man?
It's just sad to see that Nintendo going down the route just to crush a competitor like that. But I expected nothing less from Nintendo and how petty they are with everything. So yeah, hopefully Palworld comes out decent. But yeah, I think this is just Nintendo trying to do some lawfare and then just trying to financially ruin them so that they can't do anything else. That's my thoughts.
Yeah.
I hope the new GTA Online has up their own version of this type of
Yeah, they're just like they you're just throwing like coconuts and then animals pop out of it and they're like, yeah, what? Yeah, sue us.
Exactly. You just like to get like dogs and rats or throwing some random things and you put them in their own little cage and like, yo, look what I got. You shake it. I don't care. I want somebody to just do something just to get them pissed.
Yeah, but then they'll try to sue them again. You know.
Well, go sue Rockstar. Go try it.
Yeah. So Chris, what do you think now? I've read a little bit more of what they had to say.
Well, it's lawfare. It's ridiculous. It is what I'd expect from them. But what was shady about this is retroactive patents, right?
Yeah.
They didn't file the patents till after Power was out. They filed the patents later, and are now suing them retroactively, which somehow is allowed in Japanese court, which to me is insane.
That's so dumb.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then they're trying it here. They got a couple of patents here, but here, U.S. patent law, you can't sue after the fact. You got the patent now. Yes, it's granted. They're going to try it, but I don't think it's going to work here. But the fact that they had to make these concessions and that basically remove features that are contested in this lawsuit, because the terms of the lawsuit may have been that they had to halt development until the case is settled. And instead of doing that, now they're making they're patching stuff out. Also ridiculous, but at least they can still do business. At least people can still support them, still play the game and whatever. And they change the experience just enough to skirt the terms of the lawsuit. But the lawsuit shouldn't exist, period. And this is ridiculous. I hope Nintendo loses.
Yeah, it's just Nintendo being petty.
They're changing it, right? The court's not telling them.
They're changing it. Yeah.
No,
because then I'm wondering if Nintendo then going to use this against them in court and say, you see, they know they did wrong because they went and they changed it on May 5th, 2025. Well, no,
I mean, they probably filed something with the court to say like, hey, in order to have a continuation of business, we're making these changes. If they file it ahead of time, because part of the terms of it, and I wouldn't put it past Nintendo to do this, they probably said that they need to halt sales of the game until this lawsuit is settled. That was probably their terms, right? Which is impossible. You're just shooting yourself right there. So they instead filed an injunction saying, okay, we'll make these concessions in order to continue business, and the court allows it. So then they did it. So Nintendo can't then go use see, that's guilt. No, they can't do that, right?
Okay.
You brought this suit. The terms of the suit is settled. You can't after not like this patent, which is also retarded. But yeah. ridiculous.
Yeah.
All of it's ridiculous. The company that tried to take game rentals away from us, strikes again.
Yeah, exactly. Like Nintendo's just being Nintendo. These guys never change, man. It's crazy. All right. And the last story here, I toss this in, Manny, for you. So Apple is seeking to seeks a pause on Epic Games' contempt ruling that could cost the company billions of dollars. So basically, last week, a federal appeals court in California. It's always in California, isn't it? They pretty much sided with Epic Games, against their battle against Apple, and now Apple's like, put a pause on that. So Manny, what's going on with this? You're muted.
So essentially, what has happened, and this is what we've actually done a feature a topic
A lot
on
of this, yeah.
Previously, but yeah, essentially what it was is that they any platform, anything on their platform that has any sort of transaction, that means if you have something within your own app, that means that Apple gets a cut, essentially a tax off of a transaction that's not done through their store. So, obviously, they and by the way, they are not the only company that is affected by this, and this is also a thing that has sort of changed behind the scenes. Where so now the way a lot of this is precisely the reason why you can't buy an Xbox game off of your off using the Xbox app. This is also the same reason why Sony has to have a hidden, has to have like a back end web browser that essentially throws you onto their PlayStation store, on their little web browser in order to be able to buy games, because any sort of purchase that would have been done on their platform would have been taxed.
Not only that, there's some services.
This also affects for those of you who if a lot of YouTubers out there like to use the Patreon application. So Patreon was going to be adding a tax to essentially cover their cover this amount of money that was going to be done. So you could either you could subscribe to Patreon through their app, and you would use Apple's services there, or you could do it through their website, and they would obviously tell you go through the website, don't subscribe through Apple.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of things that this thing affects. I mean, theoretically, yes, they're bound to lose a bunch of money off of this, but the thing is that they shouldn't be charging off of any single purchase.
Yeah, they charge. They're charging $30 to developers, and yeah, like Manny said, basically, if you try, let's just say you have you're trying to buy an Epic game from on your iPhone or iPad, you can't do it. You got to go through this whole workaround.
But
yeah,
they don't do it for everybody. They don't do it to Fandango. They don't do it for tickets. They don't do it for Amazon and Walmart. And now it's part of the argument. And it's like you're picking and choosing on who you want to go after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So again, the main thing here, because we have talked about this before. The new development is that the courts are siding with Epic, which is a good thing, right? But Apple, of course, being Apple, is like, no, we want to appeal, So this thing is still going.
So yeah, it's still going, but at least for now, a lot of companies have already released rhetoric that essentially explains how this is going to work and how there's certain things are working. So it's going to at least for whenever that happens. At least for now, everything is going to be okay, and now everybody's readjusting all of their pricing, to suit, because they were essentially charging additional money on everything for the Apple tax.
Yeah,
there was a few services I remember. It was like an extra $1 or something. It was like, if you want it cheaper, just go on the website and then order it from there. Don't do it. Don't click through the Apple store.
Yeah. All right, so there you go. Another good show. We're done here. So let's start plugging some stuff. Actually, before we plug anything, again, I got to go on a mini little rant. So Doom Eternal. I gotta get rid of. Stop saying that. Doom: The Dark Ages embargo lifts at 10 a.m. Eastern, May 9th, right? But some individuals have already started posting previews. That's what right now I just got hit up by one of our followers. He was like, "Oh man, like I saw some of the previews and they said the game's looking great." I'm like, "Those weren't previews. Those were guys breaking the fucking embargo." We're not going to do that, obviously, here on Throwdown, but I do encourage everyone, because Adam and me and Rich have all played this game. I encourage you to please ask us questions about Doom: The Dark Ages so we could answer them on the Sunday show. I don't know if Adam's going to be on because you're still doing Walking Dead.
The Last of Us too.
Yeah,
both of them.
Well, or The Last of Us. I keep calling it The Walking Dead because it is the
We did The Walking Dead. No, that too. That's awesome.
Yeah. But regardless, but Adam, we could get your thoughts on next Thursday, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, for this weekend, please ask me and Rich questions about Doom: The Dark Ages because I'm eager to tell you about it. I can't tell you if I like it or not because I'm not going to be an asshole and break embargo, but I'm eager to speak on it. I could at least say that. So that's my little plug. Start asking us questions, bro. Especially start asking us questions once our respective reviews go live. So mine will be live over at Tom's Guide, and Rich's will be live over on thecoalition.com, coalition with a K.com. So please make sure to check those out and ask us questions about it for the Sunday show. But Adam, what's going on with the TV terminal?
Well, The Last of Us, got that on Sunday. That's another, we're covering the next episode 5. And then, of course, we have Mobland. We're on episode 7. That'll be up. And that is a great show. I have a feeling we're going to get a second season for that one, but they're throwing everything at us. We got the cartel now involved, chainsawing people in half and stuff. It's brutal. Brutal show. Tom Hardy's in it and stuff like that. Helen Mirren from 1923. She's fantastic. So, yeah, check that out over on YouTube. And then, of course, we got I Am Negan. That's back. Dead City Season 2. So that's over on the Coalition. So we've been covering that. That's there. And, yeah, and then, like you said, then the Doom. Yeah, I did the review for Doom, and then you did your review for Doom, and that's going live. We didn't break any embargoes. So go check that out. So, yeah, a lot of stuff out there, people. A lot of stuff.
Good stuff. And Rich was coming up on the Coalition this weekend.
Well, first and foremost, yes, let me echo what Adam said. His Doom, the Dark Ages review, that is already scheduled to go live tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time. There may be some in the future an extended conversation because there is quite a bit that I have to say about the game as well. So stay tuned for that. We'll look into that for later. As for what else is happening with the Coalition this weekend, myself and Gary Swaby, we recorded a new episode of Power, which will be going live tomorrow. Dana is also working on something related to that show, so stay tuned for that. Myself, Adam, and Carlos, the next episode of Dead City, that will be going live on Sunday. And on the gaming side, yes, there's a lot of things being worked on behind the scenes. Can't really say too much. What I can say is that I think I've already announced I'm going to Summer Game Fest, and I actually have a full schedule that entire show. So in the future, I'll talk about what I have seen. Some of the games I'm seeing, you guys are going to be interested in hearing. So I would encourage you to stay tuned to thecoalition.com. I'm also reviewing some stuff that's under an embargo that I can't talk about yet, but stay tuned. Plenty of great stuff coming.
All right. Man, you got anything to plug? You're muted.
Muted.
Yes, I do. So, me and Kari Randolph did a cover for the issue 21 reprint of G.I. Joe. This is the infamous silent interlude issue of G.I. Joe with Snake Eyes. So it's an all silent issue, originally by Larry Hama.
No reading required.
No reading, just pretty pictures.
No reading required. All cool pictures. Is a really great reprint that's currently on. That's going to be released out on at normal comic stores. But if you go to skybound.com, skyboundstore.com, you can get this version as well as the other version, which actually has the cover dressing. Hold on, let me get that up for you guys to look at. So yeah, hold on, sorry, I didn't have that all set. Whoop, wrong one.
Yo, man, pick up the right one.
They gave me a lot of them, so
you got 'em?
Whoa, he got his full stack, baby.
Oh,
they might be
signing them.
there might be a couple of giveaways happening on Throwdown.
Nice. I was just about to ask that.
So yeah, there's the one with the cover dressing where it just says G.I. Joe on it, and it says what issue was issue 21, and then boop, the one without all the cover dressing, which is just the pure art done by Kari and myself. So yeah, that is on pre-order or order right now at skybound.com, store, the skyboundstore.com, and also at your local comic book store. Currently, you will find the Power Company, that has worked by Kari Randolph and myself. We did a big old gang of us worked on that book, so that's out there right now. It's a double-sized issue, 40 pages, and also,
wow.
As always, there's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, issue. So it was a 7, 8, and then we're on issue 9 that's coming. That is the Michelangelo issue, and then issue 10 will be Raphael, and also, if you can get your hands on it, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Naruto, which is a retailer exclusive cover. So if you're a retailer, you just go to your local retailer, or you might be able to go onto IDW's site and pick up that as well. So lots of comic booky stuff.
Yo, man, you got books.
Got
Good
books.
stuff. Good stuff. All right, man. Let's start wrapping it up here. So make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Join the Discord. Subscribe on YouTube. And check us out on your favorite podcast app. Links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco. And tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Adam Vale.
Have a good weekend.
Richard Bailey Jr.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
And Brian Manjoma.
Jeff Keighley really enjoyed Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, he really does. Of course he was nice to some nice.
He's in it. I'm sure
He probably is in it, but he was like, hey guys, this is the greatest game ever. You should play it.
And I look high.
Yeah. Thank you, QL, for listening to us, man. Appreciate that. The Torn should get you on the next Warzone Aftermath. You're old school Warzone, Why not? The fan zone. Oh, God. We got to get Jag on that show, though. All right, guys. We'll see you on Sunday. And again, ask us some questions about Doom the Dark Ages. Later.
Later.
Yes.